Old style Hollywood, black and white. Maybe we'll do this whole review in black and white. But the thing is, if we're really staying faithful, I gotta get drunk. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, your home for reviews, reactions, and of course, ridiculousness. And we're jumping back into the movie sphere. I haven't watched a movie in a long time, but this is a Netflix one, sort of an awards-worthy potential, jumping back to classic Hollywood, and it's called Mank. 1930s Hollywood is reevaluated through the eyes of scathing wit and alcoholic screenwriter Herman J. Mankiewicz as he races to finish Citizen Kane. So does this new Mank movie give you an inside look, an interesting look into the making of one of the greatest films ever made? Let's find out. But before I get into my thoughts, let me know what you thought of Mank if you're a fan of Citizen Kane or very much looking for an awards-worthy type movie this weekend. Now let's get into some of the good. Alright, so some transparency here. I literally watched Citizen Kane, which this movie Mank is surrounded around essentially because Herman J. Mankiewicz is the person that wrote Citizen Kane. I watched it literally like hours before this movie, so it is fresh, it is in my mind. And I think that that is the biggest thing of seeing the parallels between these two stories. Seeing the story of Citizen Kane, you know, play out on the big screen, but then seeing the inner workings, the behind the scenes with the Mank character and how what he put in his life, essentially, the events and parallels, like I said, that he's lived through, the characters in his life that very much resemble different personas in Citizen Kane, I thought was the interesting part of this film. I think that you're going to get a lot more out of this movie if you in fact have seen Citizen Kane, but the way that they really played into this character, Mank, played by Gary Oldman, you know, he's a writer, he's been doing this, he's been doing that, but obviously battling with alcoholism, and basically he has such an amount of talent, but it's very much being hindered by his alcohol problems and whatnot. But then also, once he finishes the script here, basically everyone knows that this is a goddamn masterpiece that he has here. So it's very much this interesting journey of this person that's not really one that you're rooting for, but once it is accepted, once it is found out of what he has there, essentially, it's something that's very much like a wonderful moment to see, kind of a winning moment in this person's life. But like I said, Gary Oldman playing Herman J. Mankiewicz, I believe, I thought that he was by far the standout in this film. Obviously, Gary Oldman is wonderful in almost everything he does, and I think what he put into this Mank role is something that definitely is going to be noticed come award season, because he takes his persona and you feel the pain, the hurt. You essentially, this is a broken man, and the way that he just kind of uses mannerisms and the way he talks with people, the speech patterns essentially that he has with different characters, you can tell that this person is essentially just broken inside, but also is oozing with talent because of the horrible things that have essentially happened to him throughout his life. So Gary Oldman, my God, chef's kiss to his performance here in Mank. But then there's several other people surrounding him that I thought worked wonderfully and really played into kind of the overall vibe of this movie, this old Hollywood, essentially, almost like a love letter again to older Hollywood and almost a time capsule. Like Amanda Seyfried, I very much appreciated her role. She was beautiful, she was witty, she was fun, very much fit into this. And then a handful of other people that again are supporting characters playing off of Mank and also very much go into the kind of the making of Citizen Kane, essentially. I think just the way that everything was really shot, obviously it's, you know, high class because it's black and white and whatnot, but the way that they played with lighting, I thought worked fairly well with this black and white picture, very much resembling the stylings, like I said, of Citizen Kane, from the opening, the credits, certain kind of aspects trying to make the footage look a little degraded. I loved it. However, this Mank movie is coming from director David Fincher, and that got me very excited because I am a fan of a lot of his movies, and I was curious on how he was going to take his style and put it into this movie while staying faithful to essentially the events, the historical events around essentially one of the greatest movies ever made. And I just didn't feel like his style was able to be compressed or shifted over into this sort of film. It just didn't feel like it was really a David Fincher movie, I guess. Maybe I missed something, but I was watching it, I'm like, damn, I mean, I'm enjoying this movie, but I just don't feel like it has those David Fincher aspects to this film. And honestly, I think that that is what kind of ties in with a little bit of the lighting and cinematography. Obviously, I think the lighting in a lot of the scenes to play into the wonderful black and whites that we got on the screen worked great, but the way that certain lights, like if there was a light in the background with the lens flare, it looked like it was literally just a PNG threw the opacity down to about 25% and put it around the light. Some of the lighting in the background came off as very, not cheap, but fake. I could tell that it wasn't actually a lens flare coming off of it. And the cinematography, obviously this movie is very much paralleling, is that even a word? Following the aesthetic, essentially, of Citizen Kane, but it's using modern technology. And they tried to follow that. But I felt like a lot of the cinematography techniques here felt very much modern compared to what we saw in Citizen Kane. I thought that they would almost revert a little bit and give it more homages with certain scenes and the way that they made certain scenes or filmed certain scenes, frameworked certain scenes, but instead it does feel like it's a very much modern cinematography, black and white, and then we're supposed to believe that this is taking place in the 30s. Overall, Mank is a wonderful inside look, almost love letter to one of the greatest films ever made. With it again featuring this interesting story, kind of a behind the scenes look at one of the greatest movies ever made, Gary Oldman being wonderful, a handful of other cast adding to that, and it just being kind of that aesthetic of old Hollywood, but with a few cinematography problems and some of the David Fincher style that I was hoping for. I'd recommend checking out Mank. I mean, this isn't going to be for everyone. This is very much your awards-worthy, awards contender type movie. Great performances, a lot of fantastic things going for it. So I'd recommend checking it out. But if you're not into kind of those prestige type films, maybe this style is not going to be for you. In closing, I'm going to give Mank 4 out of 5 Hollywood masterpieces. So what did you all think of Mank? If you've already seen this one, or very much looking forward to this love letter or kind of inside look of Citizen Kane, I want to know in the comments down below. Anyways though, as always, thank you so much for watching. Watch some more videos up there or right over there, you know, brand new content every single week here on the JBuck Studios channel. I am working on a handful of reaction videos, but they are all stuck in the weird YouTube copyright issues right now, so stay tuned for all of that. Plenty of stuff. Follow my social media down there to stay up to date on everything, really. Like this video, subscribe to the JBuck Studios channel, and until next time, we'll see you later.